Mr. Mayor. Next question is from Assembly Member Russell, and that is about safeguarding the interests of disabled people.
Thank you, Chair. Our bold streets-based plans are transforming London streets, providing space to enable social distancing and preserving precious capacity on public transport for those less able to walk or cycle. Working with the boroughs, so far we have finished or are building almost 80 kilometres of new cycle lanes, creating over 22,000 square metres of new space for pedestrians, and put in place 75 low-traffic neighbourhoods and implemented more than 214 school streets so far. And as part of an ongoing trial, TfL extending the hours of over 270 bus lanes on London's red routes so they operate at all times. But any changes to our streets cannot adversely impact vulnerable groups, and I'm committed to ensuring that the interests of disabled people are safeguarded. TfL carries out equality impact assessments on every scheme it leads on. Over 60 street-based assessments are currently in progress, the results of which will be made available online. TfL also works closely with boroughs, reminding them of their public sector duties to ensure accessibility is embedded in all designs and decisions and in issuing guidance to support them. TfL is also engaging directly with organisations representing people with specific accessibility requirements. In addition to engagement with its independent disability advisory group, TfL hosted a series of working groups with representatives including Transport for All, Disability Rights UK, Inclusion London, Scope, and Royal Institute of Blind People to hear their views. All street-based measures are temporary changes, and TfL and boroughs are listening to feedback and making changes where they're needed. On Cycleway 7, for example, where we've upgraded the provision for cyclists, changes have been made at several locations to create more space for emergency vehicles, and TfL is currently engaging with local charity Merton Vision on the design of bus stop bypasses in Colliers Ward. Our data shows that disabled people are more reliant on walking and using the bus than non-disabled people and are less likely to drive, which is why our streets-based programme is so important, helping disabled people to continue to get around London safely. This is especially important given the findings of the Rapid Evidence Review Commission that shows the disproportionate effect of COVID-19 on disabled people. TfL will continue to engage with stakeholders to ensure its work protects their needs.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and that's very good to hear you recognise that many disabled people are dependent on walking and taking the bus. I'm worried that the debate about changing our streets has become very polarised, and people are claiming to speak for disabled people without thinking clearly about what helps people get around on an everyday basis. Now, I've been to visit schemes on the ground all over London, and I've met recently with Transport for All, Guide Dogs and Wheels for Wellbeing, and they've all raised good points about how street space can be more inclusive. So they tell me one problem for a lot of disabled Londoners is a lack of level pavements before or after street space. Too many street space measures are using ramps and barriers as we would for roadworks, but these measures are now set to be lasting right through the winter for months and months ahead. So in Brixton and Camden, for example, you delivered fully accessible wider pavements at bus stops using rubber curbs and an asphalt infill, which is a temporary measure, but it's much more accessible. With physical distancing set to run through the winter, will you ensure that the pavements that are widened are fully accessible like the ones in Brixton and Camden?
Chair, I'm not citing up the details, but I'm more than happy to look at the suggestion that Senator Russell raises, and I can understand why she raises it. Can I take that away and come back to you?
Absolutely, thank you very much. I've also seen a few street-based schemes where tactile or blister paving, which enables visually impaired people to find a crossing, is in place. For example, on the Park Lane for the bus stop bypasses. So it can be done. So why isn't tactile paving being used on all street-based schemes, including the borough ones?
Well, firstly, I'm not excusing, I'm just explaining. I think it was the speed of getting them done in light of the deadlines set by the government. Again, not criticism of the government either. But again, if there are examples where we're not using the right equipment, the tactile stuff that's really important for visually impaired people, again, I'm really happy offline to speak to the Assembly Member Chair, because I think what we both want, what all of us want, is to make sure that everyone can take advantage, including those with disability issues. So again, more than happy to look into that.
That's great. Thank you very much. the groups that I've spoken with have raised specific concerns about equality impact assessments on street space schemes. So will you ensure that the equality impact assessments are, as Transport for All have asked, robust, meaningful and co-produced so that you can fully involve local disabled people in checking the impact of any schemes on their neighbouring streets?
Chair, I think we're in danger of being in agreement with everything.
Well, that's marvellous.
I'm not sure that's her street cred much good, but it makes perfect sense to me.
Okay, I'm almost out of time here, so I just want to say that these simple things like having very smooth pavements, dropped curves, tactile paving, they're absolutely crucial for disabled Londoners to get around safely. And there are new temporary measures can be accompanied with details, like a tapping rail to indicate where space is being used for tables and chairs to help visually impaired people get past safely. I'll write to you with more details on those ideas. But as we go into winter, and with this need to stay physically apart, these street space schemes need improving, not removing.
Okay.
Thank you.
Chair, I'm really happy to work with this member. This is a really good example of ideas she has that we can action, which will improve life for everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
There's a